Most people think the dark web is a place. It isn't. It's a mirror. It shows you what people really want when nobody is watching, and they believe nothing can be traced back to them. Your life as a dark web market admin doesn't start with millions in crypto. It starts with curiosity and boredom. You're just a kid on shady forums with too much time and a cheap laptop. You read stories about famous darknet markets getting taken down, watched documentaries about hidden marketplaces, and at first it feels like urban legend with a bit of Hollywood on top. You install Tor because some guy told you it's like going to a secret internet. And the first time you see those ugly text-only market pages, you're disappointed. No neon, no cyberpunk, just lists of weed, pills, stolen accounts, and fools for sale. You tell yourself you're just looking. You download a few free how-to PDFs, phishing templates, beginner hacking ebooks. Soon you're reselling the same files in dark forum corners, taking payment in crypto you barely understand. You reassure yourself. You're not really selling anything bad. You're just repackaging information that was already there. Then someone gives you a little power. A small marketplace, the kind nobody will remember in 2 years, offers you a mod role. Your job is simple. Delete spam, ban obvious scammers, clean up threads where deals went bad so new buyers don't get scared. You see your first real disputes. Half-empty packages, fake tracking numbers, vendors vanishing right after prepayment. Late at night, you read broken English messages from people terrified they just sent their rent money to a ghost. You try to be fair, but slowly empathy turns into metrics. Every sob story sounds the same. Every angry rant becomes just another ticket in the queue. Little by little you move to the center of every conflict. Now you're the one who decides who gets the coins from escrow. You read everything. Buyer messages, product photos, screenshots of labels, threats, begging. Passports, IDs, bank logins, and entire stolen identities scroll past your screen, reduced to a text file called fools.txt. People beg you to take their side and call you admin, sir, boss, even though you're just another broke person behind a monitor. This is where you learn the first real rule of this world. On the dark web, trust doesn't belong to the most honest person. It belongs to whoever controls the dispute system. Eventually, you move to the back end. You help configure multi-sig wallets, hot and cold storage, the scripts that automatically release funds from escrow when both sides click complete. That's when you finally see the real numbers. Before, you only saw individual orders on product pages. Now you see flows, thousands of transactions a day, coins hopping through mixers, peeling into dozens of addresses. Balances climb into the hundreds of thousands, then millions. Every time you push a code update, a small voice in your head whispers, "If I made one mistake here, where would all that money go?" You start treating marketplace takedown stories as textbooks. Silk Road, AlphaBay, Hansa. You study the indictments, the press releases, the breakdowns of undercover operations. They all share the same pattern. A reused email, one sloppy login, one moment when an admin got lazy with OPSEC, and then, sooner or later, a knock on the door. You become paranoid as a profession. You enforce PGP for every message. You kill convenient logging features. You watch traffic patterns, defend against DDoS, and against crawlers that might belong to law enforcement. You read Europol and FBI press releases the way other people read sports news. Every new marketplace takedown is another reminder. Admins of dark web markets don't get retirement parties. They get court dates. Or they just disappear. At some point, your little market stops being little. Vendors migrate from other platforms, bringing their customers with them. The user count quietly climbs into the hundreds of thousands. Product categories multiply. Drugs, counterfeit money, stolen databases, DDoS services, ransomware affiliates, zero-day exploits. You're no longer just a moderator. You're one of the invisible owners. You decide who's allowed to sell, who gets banned forever, whose store sits at the top of the front page, and whose is buried. You set commissions, limits, ethics rules. Other people's livelihoods depend on your clicks. Money stops feeling real. You don't see bills, only blockchain explorers and balance graphs. Your marketplace's daily volume rivals a small offshore bank. People approach you calling themselves investors, offering to grow the platform. You don't ask what they do offline. You don't want to know. With growth comes war. You're afraid not only of governments, but of your own ecosystem. Competitors hammer your site with DDoS attacks, spin up phishing mirrors, spread rumors that your market is already a honeypot. Users dissect your uptime, wallet behavior, and PGP keys, trying to decide if you sold out or not. Privately, you hear stories about markets secretly seized and run by police for weeks just to harvest more vendors and buyers. You start testing your own staff with fake tasks, watching how they respond. You realize you're not running a marketplace anymore. You're running a paranoid microstate where everyone, including you, is a potential leak. And then the thought arrives that every admin eventually meets the exit scam. There's a ridiculous amount of money sitting in wallets and escrow. Some vendors treat your platform like a bank, leaving large balances on site. You know exactly how much is in hot wallets, how much in reserves, and what would happen if one day it all simply didn't go back to the users. History is full of markets that went dark overnight while their admins vanished with millions. You start doing math in your head. How much is your freedom worth? Which country won't extradite you? How many identities can you buy? How many years can you live without ever opening Tor again? Somewhere nearby, there's another path. You shut down honorably, post a final message, release as much escrow as possible, delete logs, destroy keys, try to fade away. Users will still call you a scammer. Law enforcement won't care whether you kept the coins or not. They care about the years of crime you facilitated. In a world where you turned human lives into product listings, there is no truly clean exit. The ending can look different. Sometimes it's a dawn raid, shouting, flashlights, faces in masks, hard drives lined up on a table. You watch agents scroll through the same admin panel you stared at for years. Only now it's evidence. Your username appears in the indictment header. Your jokes and staff chat become part of Exhibit A. Sometimes it's quieter and on your terms. You flip the switch yourself. You post, "We are closing. Withdraw your funds." You know most people will never see the message in time. You kill the servers, smash the drives, get on a flight to a place where nobody knows your face. Either way, you wake up in a different life. New name, new job, white shirt, office badge, tax forms. You're surrounded by people who think data breach is an abstract headline. Every time a bank emails, "We're sorry, your information may have been exposed," they're mildly annoyed. You meanwhile see mental product categories: database, fresh, corporate emails, verified, fools, premium. You walk through a mall and automatically see the crowd as a database. Every person has a card number, a login, a purchase history, a medical file. You spend too many years watching those things sold like cheap merchandise. It rewires how you see people. You don't tell anyone the full story. You can't. How do you explain that? For a while, you ran a silent city of crime where your nickname mattered more than your passport. That you were the one deciding how much a stolen identity was worth and whether someone's account would live or die. On the outside, you look like a normal person. But every time you hear being sold on the dark web, you know exactly what that page would look like. Boring layout, a price, a rating, a buy now button. And you remember that you weren't just a visitor there. For a time, you held the keys to all of it. After that, no matter what your new name is, no matter how clean your browser history looks, you never really log out.